Hello, it's me, Owen Thorne. Welcome, dear dreamer, to a realm of soft starlight and delicate possibility. You've come here tonight to rest, and through gentle words and a whispered invitation, you're encouraged to let go of the day's weight. In a moment, you'll hear a quiet tale about riding a majestic Pegasus into a lavender sunset. A story designed to cradle your mind in comfort. As you settle in, allow the warmth beneath you to support every part of your body. Feel your breath flow in and out, slowly and calmly, easing all tension from your neck, shoulders, and back. Notice how each exhale surrenders a bit more of your conscious awareness. This story will guide you through a serene adventure, yet you won't need to do anything except follow the gentle path. Let your breathing become steady and relaxed, in and out, deeper and deeper, feeling heavier, calmer, and so very safe. Now, let the journey begin. In a quiet valley at the edge of a forgotten land, a young dreamer named Eliana sat by a small stream. Daylight glimmered on the water's surface, and lush grasses whispered soft lullabies in the breeze. Above, gentle clouds drifted in slow-moving shapes, as though unhurried by time or wind. Eliana's gaze lingered on the horizon, where the sky merged with rolling hills in a haze of pastel hues. The day felt like a secret waiting to be revealed, a hush before the hush, as if nature itself were holding its breath for a magical event. She had come to this hidden grove because she sensed that something wondrous was near. The stories passed down through grandmothers and elders spoke of a Pegasus that appeared when twilight drew close, its shimmering wings carrying stardust on the breeze. Eliana was neither fearful nor anxious. She was filled with a calm yet powerful curiosity, a serene wonder that extended to every part of her being. A gentle trickling of water soothed her ears, mingling with the muted hum of crickets beginning their evening song. Soft sunlight stretched lazily, its rays brushing across Eliana's hair. In the distance, a faint glow formed, as if the sky itself had a secret corridor where day gave way to a swirl of lavenders and golds. The hush of dusk arrived quietly, enveloping the valley in a cushion of pastel light. Here, beneath an ancient willow and near that babbling stream, she closed her eyes and inhaled deeply. A sweet, flowery fragrance drifted through the air, reminiscent of a distant orchard in bloom. Slowly, she opened her eyes and caught sight of a glimmer at the corner of her vision. It was soft at first, like a distant star or a playful firefly dancing above the tall meadow grass. The shimmer grew until it took on a shape, a proud horse-like figure with vast, feathered wings. The creature's coat gleamed faintly, catching the last of the sun's rays. Its mane, a long, silvery cascade, flowed elegantly down its neck. Time seemed to slow to a gentle hum, as though the entire world paused to witness this apparition. The Pegasus, named Lyria by old tales, stood at the clearing's edge. She turned her head toward Eliana, her eyes the color of twilight clouds. Their gaze connected in an unspoken greeting, a silent recognition that neither was a threat. In fact, it felt like the meeting of two kindred spirits. A soft hush fell over the wind, allowing this extraordinary moment to expand and fill the valley with anticipation. Eliana stood, each movement unhurried, her heart calm but deeply moved by the spectacle. Slowly she approached Lyria. Not once did the Pegasus flinch or retreat. Rather, she seemed to invite Eliana closer with a gentle dipping of her head. From somewhere in the depths of memory, or perhaps from an instinct born of dreams, Eliana reached out her hand. The Pegasus lowered her muzzle, warm breath tickling Eliana's palm. That contact was like an echo of ancient trust, forging a bond between them that whispered of journeys yet to unfold. All around them, dusk continued to paint the sky in gradations of lilac, peach, and gold. The tall grasses swayed in a dreamy rhythm. Fireflies began their glowing dance in the spaces between slender reeds, and the hush of evening opened itself like a friendly invitation. There was a mystical aura to this entire scene, as though the valley were a stage set for the wonder of flight. The Pegasus extended her wings, each feather shimmering with moonlit softness. She knelt slightly, indicating Eliana could climb onto her back. With no hesitation, Eliana accepted, placing her foot gently against Lyria's flank. Balancing with poise, she settled upon the Pegasus, feeling the warmth of that powerful, magical body beneath her. As Lyria straightened, Eliana was overcome by a sensation of lightness, as though she had stepped out of her mortal frame and into the realm of dreams. They lifted off gently. There was no rush, no forceful gallop. Instead, Lyria gave a small hop and swept her wings downward, catching the air with an effortless grace. The ground slipped away beneath them, and the hush of the valley was replaced by a soothing wind that played like a lullaby against Eliana's ears. Higher and higher they soared, gliding toward the band of lavender light on the horizon. Everything beneath them became soft and blurred, as though shaped by moonlit brushstrokes. The tops of the willow trees looked like tiny green umbrellas, and the stream meandered like a silver ribbon. As they ascended, the air grew more tranquil, infused with the faint scent of starshine. Slowly, the pinks and oranges of twilight dissolved into deeper purples, and that veil of lavender in the sky transformed into an all-encompassing glow. It was not merely a colour. It felt like a gentle presence, a comforting energy that enveloped them. Eliana noticed that as they soared, a trail of shimmering light seemed to follow the Pegasus. It glimmered faintly, carrying tiny motes of luminescence that scattered in the wind, floating down like magical dust. Each mote that landed on the earth below left tiny blossoms opening in its wake, as though seeds of enchantment fell from Lyria's flight to beautify the land. The higher they climbed, the quieter the world became, until only the rhythmic beating of the Pegasus's wings remained. Eliana felt no fear of heights or falling. Instead, she felt serene, cradled by the sky, embraced by the gentle hush of a realm between day and night. The heavens stretched out before them, revealing an endless expanse of drifting stars that peeked through the remaining rays of fading sun. If one looked closely, the stars seemed to quiver, as if poised to let out a soft, melodic hum to guide wandering souls through the night. Somewhere ahead, the lavender sunset lingered, more vibrant than anything Eliana had ever seen. The horizon was washed in purples, violets, and the faintest edges of silver cloud. It was a spectacle of light so soft and welcoming, it might have been spun from the most delicate silk. Even time itself seemed reluctant to move too quickly, allowing every colour to shimmer in slow waves. The Pegasus angled her wings toward this radiant phenomenon, gliding with dreamy sureness. As they drifted closer to the heart of the lavender sky, Eliana felt the air change, becoming both crisp and perfumed by the floral breath of distant meadows. The colours in the atmosphere began to swirl in mesmerising patterns, almost like a gentle tapestry weaving across the sky. Lyria moved through this tapestry effortlessly, and it felt as though they were travelling through layers of a magical painting, each hue tranquil and inviting. From this vantage, Eliana noticed the subtle pulse of life below. Beyond the valley lay rolling forests with canopies that looked like soft velvet. Beyond those forests, small towns glowed with windows lit against the approaching dusk, each light flicker a greeting to the coming night. Everything felt intimately connected to this peaceful journey. Even the quiet hum of day turning into night carried a lullaby-like quality, each moment guiding Eliana into deeper relaxation. A delicate wind carried the fragrance of lavender, gentle, sweet, and reminiscent of comfort. The entire sky around them seemed to hold a violet glow, as though they were flying inside the petals of a giant enchanted bloom. Eliana let her eyes drift half closed, surrendering to the serene allure of this flight. The Pegasus's wings beat steadily, never hurried, each downstroke timed to the slow rhythm of the breath of the sky. Moments later, a cluster of shimmering clouds drifted near, lit from within by a soft luminescence. Lyria, feeling playful and confident, guided Eliana toward these silvery clouds. They glided through the mists, and Eliana felt the gentle moisture kiss her cheeks. When she looked at her hands, she found faint sparkles on her skin, like tiny droplets made of moonlight. Lyria's feathers glowed brighter as they passed through each cloud, and for a moment it felt as if the Pegasus herself had gathered the brilliant essence of the sky within her majestic wings. Below, the countryside began to melt into a peaceful twilight. Small lakes reflected the violet glow, turning into mirrors of amethyst across the land. Rolling hills looked like soft lumps of blue velvet, and the hush was broken only by the distant notes of evening birds. From this vantage, it was clear that all of nature was slowing down, settling into rest. Even the wind across the lakes seemed to exhale gently, as if encouraging every living creature to find comfort and respite. Eventually, Eliana noticed a subtle shift in the Pegasus's posture. Lyria tilted her head downward, guiding them gently toward a secluded plateau, bathed in the dreamlike purple glow of the sky. The air around them was warm and lightly perfumed with lilacs and freshly gathered starlight. With a graceful descent, the Pegasus landed softly, stirring only the faintest swirl of dust and flower petals around her hooves. They had arrived upon a high clearing, blanketed by wild lavender, stretching in soft waves across the plateau. The flowers swayed like a living ocean of purple, their scent so soothing it was almost a lullaby in itself. At the far edge of this clearing stood a single grand tree with silver bark. Its branches formed a wide canopy, draped in lilac blossoms that seemed to glow in the last rays of twilight. Eliana slid off the Pegasus's back, feeling her feet sink into the comforting cushion of lavender flowers. Lyria folded her wings gently, standing beside the girl with quiet poise. There was a sense of peace here that transcended mere restfulness, an enveloping calm that soothed the soul, as though this plateau were a sanctuary shaped by centuries of silent magic. Drawn by the shimmering petals of the silver-barked tree, Eliana walked slowly toward it. Each step was measured and unhurried, accompanied by the delicate crackle of flower stems underfoot. The fragrance grew richer, a heady, comforting swirl that calmed her lungs and heart. Upon reaching the trunk, Eliana placed her hand on its cool, smooth bark. A pulse of gentle warmth seemed to answer her touch, a subtle sign that this place recognized and welcomed her. Lyria followed and rested her muzzle against one of the lower branches, causing a small shower of lilac petals to drift downward. The petals swirled in the air before landing in Eliana's hair and on the soft lavender carpet. For a time, neither of them moved. They simply existed in that space, breathing in the tranquil hush and letting the day's cares melt away. Then, from among the branches, a faint glow revealed a hidden fruit, pale purple with swirls of stardust across its surface. Legend said it was a moon-kissed apple, a rare delicacy rumoured to grow only in magical groves under silver-barked trees. Gently, Eliana reached up and cradled the fruit in her hands. It shone with a soothing glow, warm to the touch, yet cooling to the mind. She broke off a small piece and offered it to Lyria, who accepted it with the utmost grace. A contented rumble reverberated through the Pegasus's chest, echoing low and comforting. Eliana then took a quiet bite. Instantly, a feeling of serenity coursed through her, as if a soft wave were passing gently from her head to her toes. In the hush that followed, she felt more and more that she was not just standing on a plateau, but resting in a cradle of protective magic. The lavender around them seemed to hum with quiet approval, swaying in a gentle, rhythmic dance. High above, the lavender sunset began its slow surrender to the deeper colours of night. Stars bloomed across the sky in a tender unveiling, each one a tiny guiding light for weary souls. It was then that Lyria shifted, unfolding her wings once more. A gentle nudge from her muzzle invited Eliana to climb onto her back again. The girl understood it was time to rise above the plateau and embrace the gentle hush of twilight's final moments. With renewed trust and comfort, she mounted the Pegasus, feeling the magical creature's heartbeat resonate with her own. They lifted into the air once more, circling gracefully above the lavender field. The flowers below rippled like a purple sea, illuminated by the soft starlight overhead. Higher and higher they drifted, until the plateau was just a small patch of moonlit violet. The air had a crisp purity, carrying the faintest whispers of wind. Clouds parted to reveal a full moon, bathing Lyria's silver mane and feathers in a radiant glow. The stars seemed closer now, as if one could simply reach out and gather them in an open hand. Each beat of the Pegasus's wings carried Eliana into deeper realms of relaxation, her mind drifting in time with the gentle pulses of flight. Tiny comets of silver light passed in the distance, trailing glimmers of cosmic dust. The sky seemed vast yet welcoming, a quiet ocean of shimmering possibility. In that serene expanse, the problems and busy thoughts of the day felt not merely far away. They felt softly dissolved, absorbed by the peaceful rhythm of the night. With each moment, Eliana's breathing deepened, her eyelids growing a touch heavier, her thoughts flowing gently like a lullaby in her mind. After some time adrift in these heights, the Pegasus guided them toward a slow descent, following the contours of a winding river that glowed below like a molten strand of silver. Gentle hills rolled on either side, dotted with flowers that appeared to glow in the moonlight. Eventually, the Pegasus spotted a tranquil meadow near the water's edge. There, the grass shone with a soft luminescence, as though nurtured by centuries of hidden starlight. They landed with that same gentle grace, stirring only a faint rustle in the nearby reeds. This meadow was so hushed that the river's quiet flow became the sole orchestration of nature's nightly symphony. A few fireflies danced, their soft lights flickering among tall stems. At the meadow's center stood a small circle of stones, each carved with swirling patterns that hinted at ancient stories. Eliana dismounted and felt the velvety grass beneath her soles. It seemed to cradle her feet, inviting her to rest. She moved among the stones, noticing they were arranged in a perfect circle. Their carvings depicted stars, moons, and winged horses, a silent testament to the bond between humans and magical creatures. With a gentle touch, Eliana traced one of the etched lines. A soft glow responded beneath her fingertips. Lyria stepped forward to stand beside Eliana. The Pegasus lowered her magnificent head, as though in respect or recognition of the ancient stones. The circle, once purely symbolic, began to hum gently, resonating with the quiet energy of the night. The stones glowed faintly, creating a halo of silvery light around Eliana and Lyria. The hush that surrounded them became deeper, more profound, an almost weightless calm that invited every muscle to relax. In that moment, Eliana felt her eyes drift shut as she leaned against Lyria's neck. She could sense the warmth and steady breath of this majestic companion, and it was as though they were connected through the soft pulse of the world itself. Any lingering tension or thought of the day slipped away, replaced by a serene sense of belonging. There was no hurry, no urgency, just an endless moment of peace. The hush of the meadow, the soothing glow of the stones, and the rhythmic sound of the gently flowing river combined to create a lullaby that transcended words. For a long while, Eliana stayed there, motionless in her repose, breathing in sync with Lyria and the slow, even pulse of nature. The gentle curve of the Pegasus's neck provided a comforting place to rest her head. The night felt vast, but also intimately close, its stars shining with a gentle brightness that seemed to promise safety and warmth. Each passing second was a further step toward dreamland, a sweet slide into the realms of quiet wonder. Eventually, the circle of stones dimmed, the ancient symbols settling back into a subtle, comforting glow. The meadow itself seemed to breathe, the grass swaying in a cadence that lulled the weary mind. Lyria folded her wings and took a slow, deliberate breath, as though encouraging Eliana to do the same. The girl inhaled, exhaled, and found herself drifting toward a soft drowsiness, one that felt like a gentle embrace. When the last hint of lavender light faded from the sky, the stars revealed themselves in total brilliance. Twinkling patterns formed overhead, maybe constellations of galloping horses or dancing figures. The moon kept watch, serene and protective, its silver glow lending an otherworldly radiance to everything below. In that serene place, time lost its meaning, replaced by a warm tide of tranquility. Perhaps hours passed, or only minutes. It hardly mattered. The hush was complete and comforting. Eventually, Eliana stirred, rousing herself with slow, sleepy movements. The Pegasus let out a quiet breath, a soft affirmation that she was present. With gentle guidance, Lyria nudged Eliana toward the edge of the meadow, where a small stretch of moss provided a natural bed, a place to rest deeply under the sky's watchful glow. Eliana settled onto the moss, feeling its softness cradle her body. The faint chirp of crickets and the low murmur of the river served as her lullaby. Lyria stood guard, her eyes reflecting the starlight. The sense of security was complete, as though every blade of grass and every flickering firefly promised only peace and restoration. Night deepened. The air carried a subtle chill, but a comforting blanket of moonbeams seemed to wrap around Eliana, keeping her warm. Her eyelids grew heavier and heavier, each blink longer than the last. She drifted to the edge of wakefulness, lingering in that sweet, timeless moment where reality and dreams merge. Somewhere in her fading consciousness, she felt the gentle presence of Lyria, and she knew that should dawn come or the hush deepen, all would be well. There was no more need to roam or fly or explore. The stories had been told, the secrets shared. Sleep was the natural next step, an invitation from the night to heal and rest. In the lingering hush, the Pegasus lowered her head, brushing Eliana's hair softly with her muzzle. The meadows, the stones, and the flowing river all seemed to release a collective sigh of contentment. The circle of stones glimmered faintly, like a curtain drawn halfway across a stage, ensuring that the world of dreams was just a breath away. Now, dear wanderer in the realm of dreams, let this story fade like a gentle lullaby. The pace of each moment softens, slowing until thoughts dissolve into the comforting quiet of night. Feel your own breathing grow steadier, your muscles loosening one by one. Let the tension in your forehead go, let your jaw unhinge slightly, and allow your shoulders to settle into the soft surface beneath you. Each breath draws in calm and releases any remnants of the day. In this hush, there is no rush, no expectation, only the gentle invitation of restful sleep. Your mind can drift through the petals of lavender and across starlit fields. You are safe, cherished, and free to slip into deep dreams. The Pegasus flies onward in the distance, guiding the night with silent wings. But there is no need to follow her now. Your place is here, in the gentle, enveloping warmth of stillness, where imagination meets quiet surrender. Let your eyelids grow so heavy they flutter closed. Hear the soft hum of the evening, the distant echo of a kind breeze. You have travelled far on this journey, and now it is time to rest. May the memory of lavender skies and moonlit wings cradle you in peace. There is nothing more you need to do or think about. Sleep comes to you gently and naturally, easing you deeper into the soft embrace of night. Good night, dear traveller. Sleep well, and let the hush of dreams guide you to tranquil rest. May the echoes of enchanted flight hover near your dreams, bringing serenity and comfort. Rest now, and know that you are safe, enveloped by the quiet magic that fills every gentle breath. Good night.